Hey everybody, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is the high probability watch list for the week of March 2nd. Now, it is Thursday. We have a very busy weekend. We're going to be at the Traders Expo down in New York City. We have a booth there. It's booth 5309. I'm pretty sure. If not, pretty sure it's 5309. I have to double check, but there is a big trade show, and it happens once a year, and we're going to have a booth at it, and we're going to be down there. We have this get together every year. So hopefully, if you're in the area, come on down. It's at the Marriott Marquis, right in Times Square, and it goes from Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll be there every single day, and again at the conference, at the expo, we'll have a booth there. So if you're in the area, stop by. Definitely come up, say hi and stuff. So I'm preparing to do this video a little bit earlier this week. Normally I'd send it out on Friday nights, but Friday Paul will be up here. I'll be working tomorrow live on the air. I'll be broadcasting. That's normally when I do my research. So I'm trying to do a little research tonight, and then do a little research tomorrow, and then have everything done for you. But we also going to be doing a lot of other things, getting ready, But again, this is the first part of that, and let's just start going over some things. I think you're going to enjoy this video because we go back on everything that we've just got us to this point this week. It's a great week, great month, great year. And we've actually started some hedges. Let's talk about the market in general first. The S&P 500 extended on the daily. Extended on, the 60 has come back now, and that's what we were waiting for. See that first rotation. We knew it was going to come. I was guessing it would come around Wednesday, and we started to see that yesterday. We started to see a little breakdown in the market. And then we got a little bit more follow through, but very choppy today. I mean, basically the market ended flat. The Nasdaq ended up about 20 points. The Dow was down 9, and the S&P was down 2 and change. So really not a big down day, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to take out the highs again. And this is an important part of the video. What's gotten us, such great results this past week. Doesn't matter what the market's doing, but we're waiting for our trades to set up. And just like waiting for the trades to set up, you should wait for the market to set up to give the best wind in your sail type of event. You want to be trading in the same direction of the market most of the time. You want to understand what the market's doing, and you don't want to be going against the bigger tide. So we've been kind of starting to hedge our positions, and a hedge in my case is kind of balancing out. Mostly I had longs on, taking a short here and there, but basically long with this market and doing real well, waiting for some quality names to pull back in certain patterns. I'm going to go over those patterns in a second, and then basically taking profits and just continue to do that and waiting for them. And we've had a great success in seeing some of these stocks here rotate back into a position, set up again, and we could do it all over again. Today was very slow, and the market was kind of jittery. You could take a look at the 5-minute chart. We started out about 9:30 here, and we kind of dropped off, moved back up, and chopped around, and then dropped off, and then came right back. And it was just a weird day. Ended up pretty close to being flat. 5-minute did give us some opportunities. A 5-minute rotation here early at 10 o'clock. You got a buy signal, and then they got overbought, and then pulled back, oversold, and a little bit, but not a big range. That would have been, I think, more of a frustrating trade in the futures than anything. It just seemed to go slow, and it seemed there was some little vacuum areas where we kind of popped down, we popped down, and we pushed back up, So it was kind of choppy, and I was happy just to kind of move and just concentrate on stocks. Now, what is that telling us for tomorrow? Well, tomorrow's Friday. We have some data reports coming out, a GDP, I believe. So that could make the market move a bit. We'll see how that sets up. In the 5-minute, well, actually the 60-minute time frame, the one we're paying attention to right now, hasn't gotten oversold yet. We could actually turn back up. I'm not counting out a retest of the highs, and this is the important part of the video. When we talked about getting these great setups that we've recently been trading, they all have a certain common denominator. They were based off of what I call a DTR's Playbook play, or they were a divergence setup. And the divergences are important. They really represent really great trading opportunities, and and I mentioned this a few times during the show this week. It's once you start to hit on these and you see how well they work and you just start to profit on them, and more you get disciplined as taking profits and moving on and getting the next one in different time frames and everything working out, you get addicted to them and you just want to take them. So I've been kind of holding off, letting the market try to get set up again, and I haven't been seeing any really great divergences setting up on the buy side. The sell side, there is a few, but the market here is not giving us too much on either direction. So that was one of the main reasons we've been doing so well. So now we're going into this week, and I'm saying to be able to kind of time the market top, I would love to be able to get an HPS type of setup on the overall markets. I mean, I want to see a failure. We want to maybe take out the highs in the reverse, and then or see a lane divergence on something on the daily. The combination of things happening, and it just hasn't happened. If we're kind of having a slow drift here, and it's almost like we could actually pop back up, and that might be okay. That might actually set us up into that divergence zone, because you got a slight, and this is actually on the 60, but you have that slight move back down and a fast pop. We're not that far away from highs. Could bring this up real quickly and not bring the stochastic still could be dragging here, showing the sell momentum is still intact. So that high would be taken out, but then we would sell into it, and it would be some type of top formation I'd be looking for. So I'm looking for these little key little signals, and they haven't been showing up yet. So we're being a little bit more cautious going into the end of the week. I still have the hedges on, and there's not much you can read into these charts. The 60-minute time frame has been reacting good in this upward trend. You can see the last time we pulled back on a 60, we bounced right back up. So it almost appears that we're getting back into oversold, but it might not even get down there. This market's been just a very strong market. So nothing's going to be easy here. But if we do get the rotation back, we'll see if we actually start to see that divergence play out on the hourly. Maybe even start to see it in the 5-minute. Now, right now, you probably be able you start to see these in the 5-minute setups. But this is what we're going to look for. I'm going to go back to the 60-minute chart, and we're going to go back here and take a look to see if we had any. And here was an example of that divergence. I'm going to delete this. And you can see that low here and this higher low. Very clear, when we base out here, and this little low comes in right here. This little low in the price. And we bounced. And then we took out the recent low, and it usually happens inside of a pullback. So you're pretty much at lows. You want this divergence to happen to be at, maybe the 20, 40, 60-day lows. A nice pullback, a nice healthy pullback, usually taking out the previous lows. Definitely taking out the previous lows in the divergence, but looking out even further, you can see that we've kind of cleared some area down here. And then we break down again. We take out the lows, but we turn back up. And this would be a great signal for us to get into every single time, and that'll happen on the hourly. So we're still waiting for that. Will that happen over a situation on the next pullback? Problem is, there's a lot of days between it happens to here, there's a lot, but we don't exactly, want to take just this one. We have the other plays that work out just as well. The channel within the channel was a key trade for us this week, and some other great trades. Here we had, let's take a look at the daily here, NAV. Here was our channel within a channel best bet of the week, and it was a call stochastic channel breakout, and that's a playbook play. These are the playbook plays, are the setups that I've defined, labeled, showed you how they set up, what they do, and why they're such a high probability setup. And they're locked into a certain way. This one has to have a coil on the stochastics. This has to be a tight channel. In this case, it's 2 HPS setups. This is another one where we have a large channel with a smaller channel inside. You look for that large channel to break into the larger channel. And again, stochastics have to be set up, everything else. But this combination of both of these happening is just, this is what we live for. Super comfortable getting into these trades down at these levels. And you can see the results from it. It's very obvious. And not, we don't, get in here and maybe we're picking bottoms here. We're picking great patterns, and we're seeing great moves from those patterns. It can't be denied. So again, when you see that, how do you do something different? How do you try to make something different when you know this is always going to work, unless there's something that outside influence in news or something that breaks things down? But the majority of the time, you're going to see these setups work. There's about 5 to 7 of them I love to bring to you. And it's just, a matter of having these things. And it's a matter of me doing the research every week and scanning through hundreds, if not 1,000 stocks and looking at every different time frame. So that's what I'm doing tonight, and I'm going to, again, bring you this week some new setups. But some weeks you're going to see like, wow, you know what? There's nothing here that's really, a textbook HPS type of setup, I might say. And it's again, it's your decision if you're going to try to tackle something that's out of the, out of our wheelhouse, or, what we excel at. What we actually excel at, and what pays the bills and makes the money. Or are we going to just, all right, we're going to try to make something else up and go along. So just bear with me. There's going to be days and weeks maybe that we don't have the best setup. And we ended up, we'll still trade. We'll still take those shorter time frames. But the big moves like in the NAV today and the Cabela's, these are all based on HPS setups. I define them for you. We talk about it. This is live education we do every day. Because when it does set up, we're marking it off, and we understand why we're getting in here. We understand what the next marks a spot trade at HPS setup. How divergences work. It's all here. All we have to do now is just wait, and it should be like that. But we know it's not, right? We just know it's not. So these are the trades, some of the trades we've been taking this week, just to give you a look. I mean, Mattel, I want to give this one to you guys. This was a really exclusive, a members setup. I mean, this is such a great setup, and I do expect it to move higher. So you have a double bottom setup here. You got oversold on the daily, and we just came in here and we picked it right up off the lows. And then the next day exploded, and then the following day exploded. It was just, just a great setup. And actually, we held it for 2 days. 2 days. Picked it up at the lows yesterday. It moved up, closed on the highs. Today we followed through. And, the 60-minute time frame, again, just like we have a technique for our entries, we have a technique for our exits, or, when we sell. And lots of times I'll go back and remind you that certain time frames react differently. So we watch that 60-minute time frame, and it's, it's overbought here. We sold off a little, overbought here, sold off a little, overbought here, sold off a little. We're getting overbought here again. I could risk it and say, well, I'm gonna guess it's gonna move higher, and it probably will, because we're probably gonna get embedded here, and it's the bigger pattern says that we're gonna go higher. Or you could just say, hey, this is our standard trade, in and out, in and out. So anyway, Mattel still looks very good and will be on this week's watch list. And again, probably a limited, like I said, I've been scanning a lot of stocks tonight, and they're not like setting up like they were last week, which I'm showing you those examples. Now we have to deal with the 60. We have to deal with some other indicators, the embedded stochastic showing, strength, maybe breaking it down to the 5-minute chart, some other things like that to work some magic this upcoming week. So that's Mattel. I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep a couple of these. Still, I'm not going to release a couple of these until the other member side of the video. Remember, this video, we do have a premium subscription at Day Trading Radio, where all that research is released every week, and the education and the playbook plays it. So my best advice, if you want to make it in the stock market, get yourself over to DayTradingRadio.com and sign up. It's like less than $2 a day. But you know what? You're not going to get anything better than this. So we did the Cabela's. Oh, the Cabela's. All right. So anyway, all right. Let's continue on here. So we're going to start watching that 60-minute time frame on individual stocks too. It's a little bit more difficult because it happens faster. And there's so many stocks to look through. So but IBM was one of those stocks on that 60-minute time frame we got into, and we got into it, got a profit, then we got in it again, got a profit. I just recently got in it again, and I'm currently holding it with a call, and it's just a hourly here, just getting oversold on the hourly. So is there a 1, 2, 3 pattern? We have 1 pivot, 2 pivots, 3 pivots. We came down here. We're actually starting to hold on to this this other level down here. So it would be great if this actually does flag out. And the 1, 2, 3 pattern is an HPS type of setup when the 60-minute sets up and we push back into this pattern. But remember, once the pattern is kind of set up here, it could continue to look at that level. It might not break out that point. It might actually pull back. We might have a bigger flag, which is very healthy for the stock in general. It's just about understanding what your potential is in a shorter term time frame. The Johnson & Johnson, J&J, I mean, this is something we had on the focus list this week. and it was, another divergence. Had that gap down, and a reversal was a channel within a channel, and our first target is that upper trend line, which we hit today. So these things are just golden setups. Now there is some new divergences, like I said, coming up. We're going to get to those in a bit. I had another one I wanted to actually share with you. Here's one. I'm going to hand this one out to everyone. AstraZeneca drug stock. Now this is an ADR. Trade's another market also, given that given those gaps and stuff. But here you have a clear divergence. It kind of gap down here. We move back up and we cross back up. Downward channel. So it's a little different because it doesn't have that complete look of each day leading to the other day, and there's a lot of gaps that adjust the stock a lot. But overall, again, here's an interesting one. AstraZeneca, AZN, and we're going to continue to look at the drug stocks. We did trade ALXN this week, and it's worked out great. This was a nice channel we were following. Then we started keying in on some reversal candles and holding that 200 period moving average, and from that point on, we got our trade on, and it was off to the races. I think we broke this down on the 60-minute time frame, which gave us a very, very nice re-entry. I think it was a flag here. Again, really nice stuff right there. But we're going to continue to watch the drug stocks. The IBB biotech ETF is a very strong ETF. I mean, there's might be no reason other than to say, hey, get into this and hold this. It does look good. It looks very impressive, very strong, very, very strong stock. And PANW, another very strong stock, a security stock, but maybe a possible candle here today. The IBM went over that. Lexion went over that. Better yet, why don't we just look at the HPS watch list from last week and last 2 weeks? Take a look at this. This is for the members of Day Trading Radio. What happens is we get all these charts together. I put all the charts. I break them down. I do a video that goes along with them, describing each setup. And then what I do on the charts here, as you can see, we'll take Cabela for example. Take that chart. We'll move it. And it'll come up on your screen here. This will come out, and you'll be able to reference this at any point. And what it is, the setup will be here. And this, again, broken down for you, what we're looking for, why we're looking for this. The X marks the spot trade, the reversal candle, and in the video it goes over it step by step. And then what happens is this is automated, and all these alerts are put into the system, our dashboard. So when a trade is triggered, a buy trigger is triggered, a price is hit, that sends out the alert. You get the alert in the trade alert box on the dashboard. You get it in your email. You can have it set up to send to your text if you'd like. And the same thing happens once your buy triggers and your entry is triggered. It's up to you if you want to take the trade or not. Your stop will come into effect. If the stop is hit before the profit zone is hit, then that will get an email sent to you. And the same thing if the profit zone is hit. And you can always refresh and see how the trade worked out. And this is exactly where we got in, and exactly where we got out. Fantastic setup there. That's a golden HPS setup, and the HPS setups are based off of a certain criteria. So that's why they end up on this little site here. Now, a couple of them are still active, and when they're active, they just haven't hit their profit potential yet. And again, these are changing all for next week. These are that's why I rarely show these to the public. This is a special backdoor view of this, and you can see our entry, my entry, and where we are right now. I think we're a couple pennies away from that profit zone. Hopefully, it just triggers that. And this is what we call a channel 1, 2, 3 pattern. And when you break down through a channel line like this, and we hit this underlying channel, and it's a channel within a channel, NAV. There's so many great things. Your retracement is your first target. Your retracement trend line is right there, and this is a pivot area. That's a pivot, and that's a pivot. Really making this, and this one confirmed it. So this makes it a great target area, and no doubt we're probably going to end up hitting that also. And we call this a multi, or kind of a super HPS setup where there's multiple patterns playing out, and So again, we could just collapse that. And again, everyone is listed here for you. So these are the stocks actually, the Lexion, the MDRX. The Baidu, some of these are a little older now. This is past due. So this probably, remember when you get to your first alert, you should, consider it, because sometimes this came right down to our level. We bounced that next day right up to that, and that was a trade we had. Since then, it's pulled back, but again, it hit its profit potential. We might even look at this week, and that's one of the features of day trading radio. So any of these setups here, the ones that are watching haven't hit their potential yet, or price potential, or exactly what we're looking for, but there's such great little setups that we keep them active, and if it does happen to come down and trigger the things, you're going to get the alert, so you don't even have to even worry about it. Here we have this large channel. I said, well, what would be great if we actually get a price down towards the lower part of that channel line, and right now it just seems to be chopping around here, but there is a shot that we actually get a pushback down here, and if we do, we will get a signal on that. And again, some other ones are setting up here similar to that. And again, if something breaks down, something does break down, and its stop is hit, then the stop gets hit. And as you can see, and here's one that was red. This was on here for a while. I think it was just been choppy. What happened here is this got activated here, and what I did is I put a buy trigger in at 83.60. That would break us into that gap. And it pulled back, so we kept it active, and it just recently triggered that. You can see a little candle pop through that, so it triggered that out. We weren't in this trade, but if it does get triggered, I do send it out. And from that point, it did move down and push back under a very tight stop, and so that was sent out. But you know what? We're going to actually start looking at the oil and gas stocks today anyway. So we're going to get working on that research for you. I'm going to bring this back over here. We're going to probably cut this part of the video short right now, and then we're going to start with our HPS watch list for the members. So get ready for some great setups coming up. And for those out there, thanks for listening. We'll see you in the markets. And if you're down at the trade show area or down in New York City, February 28th. What is it? Wait, was it? The 28th, the 1st, and the 2nd. I think that's it. Yep, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 28th, 1st, and 2nd. Marriott Marquis, New York City, 5309. Our table. Come by Day Trading Radio. Say hi to everyone. There's going to be a lot of members coming down from all over the place. And we'll see you then. Have a good one.